Yeah, the two different things indeed. For Oasis Gaming, yeah, as you mentioned, they have a little bit of everything. They do have a lot of poke coming out from the Jace and the Corki, Lucy and Ocean Drake. I think they should prioritize that. It would really help their team sustain through a lot of these fights because just adding a bit of that regeneration along with that healing from Mjan could really negate a lot of the damage coming from Eta, from the Eda, from Demon Kite. So it could be something they're looking at. But as we get into the game, we do see just default starts right now for both of these teams.
Yeah, no funny business, no death brushes to see if they can burn a flash or two. And exactly, right? It is definitely going to help if it's going to be an Ocean Drake. But on the other hand, I feel like Mountain Drake is good too for negating some of the poke from the side of Oasis to protect them a little bit. Haze, a little bit chunked down already, level 1.
Yeah, but he does still have the mid lane control though. Bit of fighting here in the bot side. I don't think we're gonna see a kill here, but both of the Dragon laners are very low in terms of HP. Sunsparks is a bit ahead. But yeah, mid lane, want to touch on that as well. The initial shove was on the hands of Haze being the usual range champion. Although it is hard to go against a Jace level 1 because he has two abilities compared to the one of most of the champions right now here in Wild Rift. But as we get into the start of this game, we might be seeing a bit of a Rift Scuttle fight in a bit because Nuno is very good at that. Although I think there's a gag in the mid lane and Ace just missed the snowball. But going back, Rift Scuttle fight should be in favor of Sunsparks because they have had the initial shove and Haze has just been shoving that lane towards EDAP. So any scuttle right now that Sunsparks chooses will be the one they're gonna take for sure.
Yeah, especially if Ace gets a very, very good setup for Haze and alongside with Nastjo and Haze providing the additional damage. But it seems to me both junglers are not going to be skirmishing early. And now the expectation is going to be, will it be the same thing once objective spawns? Will Oasis just give up the first dragon and then just go Rift Herald?
The thing is, as you mentioned, Mountain Drake is the first Drake right now. And yeah, I do agree that it is also something that Sunspark should be looking at because it provides them a bit more shielding on their side so that they could sustain through some of the pokes that's going to come out from Demon Kite and EDAP. And also just to negate a lot of damage from the Darius, but the fight here on the top side.
Possibly see first blood. Snowballs ain't stopping. Nicely done. Stun. Esila so low. He has no escape. Used all summoner spells and first blood for Sunsparks.
Yeah, he was a bit too ahead in that lane. Ace immediately recognizing that the Darius was overextended, immediately went to the top side, even hitting level 5 Consi, getting a bit damage here. ETAP using that time to go to the bot lane.
What nice route coming from Mjan. Here comes the Nunu Ace once again. Nice knock up here. And Demon Kite solo wants to finish the kill onto Mjan, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to be pursuing this a little bit more, but it seems to me that they will stop Sunsparks again with a nice response.
I never expected this, Rico, coming into this game, that Sunsparks would be the one dictating the early pace of the game. We were painting a picture of where they're going to go in the early objectives, and they do have a lot of scaling on their side. But earlier part of this game, Oasis looks to be the team to have more damage because they have the Jace, they have the Corki, they have a Kha'Zix, who's it's really an assassin, and also if you also add in that Darius into the mix, could very well get his resets earlier on. But since a lot of these fights have been just self-contained skirmishes on the sides, Sunsparks has gotten a lot of that advantage. And also Ace has been all over the map in this game, has enabled him to first buy that stone plate, which now tells me that he really wants to fight if Oasis will challenge them for an objective.
Yeah, a little bit more of that tankiness, that survivability later on. If ever Oasis wants to initiate on any of these 5v5 contests over the dragon, looking at how they're moving, they are definitely going to contest. I mean, we talked about the pokes before. They can definitely do that.
Yeah, and with the Yomu's Ghost Blade on Ida, he really wants to get a lot of damage early on. Ace still getting chunky.
Yeah, Tidal Wave, and that's the jungler gone. Sunsparks, 4v5, Oasis. This is definitely going to be a free dragon.
That wasn't a good kill right there, or rather, not a good death for Ace, because Sunsparks really wanted to get this Drake, especially you had a Nunu, you have the Consume, you have the Consume Smite combo, which really gives you that early objective control. But great catch right there from Oasis. I think it also helped that ADAF did go for that. He almost goes, but it had a bit of that movement speed to get that early. But Ace running it down right now towards his Herald.
Yeah, they know it's a 4. Well, they know Ace is there, or rather Sunsparks is not in the position to get this Rift Herald comfortably. There's the Valkyrie already being used, so maybe just a few seconds of vulnerability. Edaf, though, pretty low. He has to go back, had to 1v1 Haze over there, and Sunsparks now starting this Rift Herald. Oasis risky, so they back off.
Yeah, they back off. They already have one objective, so I think that's a good call. Also knowing that Ida was low, he needed to recall back. Haze could have very well walked towards the mid lane, get that mid lane shove. So at least in terms of the lane pressure, Oasis would have been a bit in the back foot if they still tried to challenge that Herald and lost. But going for the more safer option at least nets them. I think overall net positive for them. Having that Mountain Drake gives them the same thing that Sunsparks was looking for, a bit of that durability, and also denies it from the two tanky champions that Sunsparks gonna have. But Nasha though getting a bit low here.
Yeah, very low. It's gonna be fine, but look at this. Ace is rolling. Will he get the knock-up though? But Nastra too far for the follow-up.
And Ace, this guy on the Nunu has been really consistent on this champion. Ace has usually been playing a lot of these more utility-focused champions, although there might be a gap being set up here. Ace smelling it.
Yeah, he smelled it. He wanted to scout for it. He's still alive. There's the Culling Unleashed. Etaf pretty low. This could be the follow-up at Ace. Of the snowball onto the wall. Pretty hard curve. It's a very difficult curve there at the tri-brush.
He needed to do a initial D Tokyo drifts kind of thing.
Yeah.
on Ace right there. Couldn't really do the big turn, but still Etaf and Edaf being very persistent here, knowing that Ace is very low. Demon Kite though.
There's the exhaust dropping on Konsi. One more auto attack, but no, nicely done. Tidal wave coming from Dragon. He's so low. Konsi is able to survive with the heal. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome.
Great snipe right there from Mjan, using the ultimate on the Seraphine, just screaming at the top of her lungs to get Demon Kite at the back line. And I think that I want to highlight there the item build from Demon Kite, because we often see a lot of the core keys have Black Cleaver, so that gives a bit more durability, gives a lot more early game strength on that champion. Also an armor shed that would be very beneficial to Edaf and Etaf. But having the Essence Reaver does not give that durability, so I think that was the key there why he died. Ace though.
Another fight. Here we go. Etaf jumping in. There's the Culling Unleashed. He's so low. Etaf jumping back in. Again, this is very back and forth. Valkyrie forward for Demon Kite. He can poke. Nicely done. Root though coming from Mjan to prevent to make sure that SS is safe.
Yeah, to prevent the re-engage, Mjan was able to stop that in the bud. Konsi is backing away the mid lane because he knows that the Corki and the Kazakhs would be rotating to the mid lane, but at least chunking that turret down when they go back to that lane, they could take it later, especially if they're able to take the second Herald of the game. Also, one more thing is the first turret has fallen for the side of Sunsparks with the summon of the Herald there in the Dragon lane. Off cam as well, we have seen Nasjo believe falling to Asilla on the 1v1. That top lane fight has been going on and off and has mostly been influenced by Ace, but since Ace wasn't there, Nasha still took the 1v1. Asilla was inevitably able to kill him.
Yeah, this game, Apple, has been non-stop action so far. And with the dragon spawning, you talked about the Ocean Drake being very beneficial for the side of Sunsparks. I mean, they already lost out on the Mountain Drake, so shields. They need that sustain later for coming for the pokes against Oasis. So now this is the Dragon Dance, the tussle rather. And the pokes is very apparent now as we get to see Mjan chunked a little bit, but good thing they do have some heals.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the tango we're gonna see here between these two teams, although Oasis is looking for a pick right now.
They are. There's the proto belt forward. Asilla also wanted to make the same move. Eta jumping right in Ace so low, but look at that, there's the smash from Asilla. Nasta's gonna be the first one to fall. Nicely done. All coming from Mjan, locking down Asilla. And now it's gonna be more of the double kill though, coming from Eta. Nicely done response. There's another fight. Bubble will not hit. Haze wanted to move forward, and so far junglers are still alive and they're still wanting to fight, but it is the retreat for both teams.
A retreat and a 2-4-1 in favor of Oasis Gaming. Very timely use of the exhaust right there from Demon Kite, exhausting Konsi as he was tumbling into that fight. As we go into this replay, we really thought that it was Oasis Gaming who really wanted to start that fight, but it was a proto belt face breaker that started it all from the hands of Nastro, and it really was hard here for Sunsparks. They were about to win this fight, but a really great exhaust from Demon Kite essentially stopped the vein in her tracks. Herald has been taken by Oasis. Sunsparks here still at the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, they really want to contest this one. Again, we talked about the importance of this Ocean Drake. Therefore, both of these teams really do want it. We get to see Edda trying to shove the wave in mid, but again, Oasis a little bit hesitant against the Nunu with what we talked about before, the Consume plus the Smite. Look at them going in. Asila with a Proto Belt, unable to apprehend anyone. No, triple bubble trouble. Ace so low at the moment, but here comes Nastro coming in. Edda and Demon Kite wanting to run for the hills. This is Sunsparks having an adequate amount of space to get the Dragon for themselves and get more kills. Double kill for Nastro right now, and even an extra kill coming from Conzi.
Yeah, it looked like it was a fight that Oasis really wanted to start out. Asila using the Proto Belt and the Apprehend didn't able to catch anyone. The Sunsparks wasn't able to just kite them out. That is one of the strengths of their composition with that Nunu, with that Vayne, with that Seraphim, giving that AoE shield and speed up. And another kill here gonna go to the side of Sunsparks.
Yeah, the Stunlock Apprehend into the Condemned with Conzi's follow-up was just gonna lock down any of the tanky frontliner, which is just the one.
Yeah, and as we get into the replay, I saw right there, Asila really trying to go for that engagement. An initial pick on Dragon let go a lot of the CC that Oasis was able to throw. No Tidal Wave, no Bubble. Essentially just left a lot of the members of Oasis out in the open to be picked up one by Sunsparks. But Demon Kite here.
Oh dear, oh my. Ace 1v1, mini 1v1 as the rest joins in the fight. Facebreaker, Demon Kite still auto-attacking Ace. He wants to kill before he falls down. Dragon is the support. He's right here, but no heals whatsoever as everything has been used. Meanwhile, at the bottom side of the map, 1v1, Conzi wins that duel, and he gets away with a sliver of health.
Yikes. That's the one word that I'm feeling right now for Oasis Gaming, because we went into a replay and I was expecting teams to be forming up and trying to go for these deathfall. Maybe Oasis Gaming going for a death brush, trying to catch up members from Sunsparks, but instead it was Demon Kite and Dragon forcing the issue on the Lone Haze in the top side of the map. That reeks a bit of a desperation play coming from Oasis, because the game is right now falling from their favor and they really wanted to try something. But I think if they had more numbers there, they could have gotten that kill. And even on the other side of the map, it went from bad to worse with a 1v1 for Conzi. And one thing that you don't want as Oasis right now is to get Conzi ahead, because when your exhaust is down, this Vayne is just gonna tumble his way towards you.
Exactly. Being able to maneuver around and to dodge all the pokes in the world that Oasis is gonna unleash, especially in a 1v1 scenario. Conzi is gonna be happy about that. And we'll see if we're going to get another a piece of that action, because so far what we've noticed is that Haze has been joining all these fights while Conzi has been chipping away these towers. So he's getting a lot of those turret gold and is happy to get 1v1s if ever Edda wants to join in.
Yeah, and Enrico, I want you to look at the boot entrance. Before that, though, Nastro is fighting with Eta here. Okay, I don't think there's going to be a fight, even though Ace right now is just rolling, going to the top side.
That's going to be a gank. Nicely done flash by Edda, but that's another route. He's not going to escape. Killing spree already for Conzi. And the Tidal Wave is going to be used just to see if they can deter any sort of further action.
Yeah, but with that pick, that has enabled Sunsparks right now to take a bit more control over this map. Baron is up. Ace though.
He's gonna walk into this Death Rush. Nicely done, Bubble. Apprehend. All the damage in the world. The rocket doesn't hit. Oh no! That's the Solari being activated. Nicely done. Facebreaker into the smash. Nastro already on a killing spree. He's gonna flash out. Nicely done. Root again coming from Mjan. And here comes the follow-up. But that's the Noxian Guillotine with the reset. Zonias is not gonna save Mjan. Actually, he is gonna be saved because Haze is still alive as he killed the backline. There's only one left from Asila, and SS has been winning all these skirmishes.
At the end of the fight, it's a 2v4 in favor of Sunsparks. Haze got into the flank. I thought he was going to have a triple kill right there, but in the end, Asila was able to get away. Another snowball here.
Okay. They've decided, like, okay, we need to stay alive and prep for this third dragon of the game, because Oasis has been stacking theirs, and SS so far, despite winning all the gold and the fight so far, they want this Infernal Dragon for that additional damage.
Right, and while we get into the Infernal Drake spawn, before the fight's gonna happen, let's go back to the boot enchants because I want to highlight the differences in veins that we've been seeing across the tournament. We have seen Larawan yesterday go for the stasis enchant because he really wants to buy more time. He had enough damage to be able to just sustain through a lot of the initial engage coming from the enemy team yesterday. But here we see Konzi going for the more aggressive route, that protobot, that extra mobility, and that enables him to kite more against EDAF, against ETAF, against Escilla. And I think that's a pretty smart choice with this point in time while the Fertile Drake is being started by Sunsparks.
Yeah, I agree here. Look at this Death Rush being formed now. Their target is towards Nastro. Facebreaker being used immediately. Consi in the backline with a free kite. Culling being used as well. Demon Kite, half HP already.
Nice
Look at
charm.
that. Edup is gone. He's down. That's going to be a 4v5 so far. Hayes going to be the exchange mid laner.
Oh, no, Consi.
Mid laner, Consi is almost in danger. Look at that. Ethelf wants the kill on the 80 carry. 80 carry down already for Sunsparks. And look at the damage coming from the side of OASIS. This is their return as Ace is the only one left. I don't think he can port it back. I don't think he can make it home as now the fight wins towards OASIS.
That wasn't the ideal fight for Sunsparks, and because of that fight that they lost right now, it's gonna be transitioned towards this Baron for OASIS Gaming. It looks like it's gonna be a free Baron because still 14 seconds, 13 seconds on the clock for both Hayes and Konsi. And before, I do believe we might get into a replay with that fight, but let me just set the scene a bit before getting to the replay. And one of the strengths right now with the team composition from Sunsparks is they can absorb a lot of these fights. They don't need to start fights out. They just need to wait for OASIS to go to them. And if you saw right there at the start of that fight, it was Sunsparks on Nastro starting out that fight with a showstopper. And they're not built to start out these fights and chase the members of OASIS Gaming. They need ETAF, EDAF, and Escilla to overextend themselves to go into the hands of Konzi and Mjan. And the thing is, they went too far. Konzi was so far forward that he went inside the brush. He was just popped by ETAF. And that just wasn't a great execution of the team composition in terms of the team fight for Sunsparks.
Yeah, at first it seemed like Konsi had enough space to kite freely, but just as you mentioned, Nastro, that's already -1 person for the front line to basically be that meat shield for these two carries, Hayes and Konsi. Even though we saw Mjan had a phenomenal charm, phenomenal encore, it was still not enough. And now OASIS has a lot of space in the map with the Baron being used. They've been taking towers here and there. Now what's next is the second tier tower.
Yeah, second tier tower, no contest for Sunsparks because there is going to be a bubble on Ace. But yeah, with the Baron buff up right now, they don't really have a lot of wave clear for the side of Sunsparks. Only the most of that AoE is going to come from Engen, and he's a support right now. But a fight being started by Nastro.
Oh, that's the stasis already coming from Demon Kite. It's going to Valkyrie forward, but the calling is hitting everything towards Demon Kite. He tries to sidestep, but it's not going to be enough. Nicely done, bubble flash coming from Hayes, but look at that. Oh, we get to see, oh my god, it's still like so low. He's able to survive, but here comes the finisher. Etaf, with so many low health targets, he wants to jump in. That's 2 of the carries down. He gets a double kill, even more kills. 2 of the tanky frontliners wanted to defend the base. Nicely done bubble coming from Dragon, and they're gonna finish this game. OASIS is able to win this game against Sunsparks, with the Nexus now falling.
Yeah, congratulations to OASIS Gaming winning the first game of the series here today in the WCS. And OASIS Gaming eventually won that because they just kept punishing Sunsparks for, I would say, a bit of over aggression in a lot of those fights. They